Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to This is Wonder with Eyiara. And today we will be declaring I will not compare my wonder to that of someone else because I know I am uniquely and marvelously made. So today we will be talking about comparison, and I will be sharing with you the question that Holy Spirit asked me when I was all up in my feelings about comparing myself to other people. And it made me think twice. It made me think twice about comparing myself to others again. So grab a pen, grab some paper, grab a notebook, grab whatever you want to write with, and let's get into it. So I recently celebrated my birthday, and I think as we all know, when you reach a milestone birthday, or any birthday in fact, or it's the end of the year or the beginning of the year, we tend to go into this reflective mode. We tend to start thinking deeply about our lives and our goals and our future and all of that. So I was approaching my birthday. It was the day before my birthday, and I was in that deep introspective mood, just thinking about, okay, I'm approaching another year, being grateful to God for another year. But then some thoughts started to come up, like, you're this age now, and what do you have to show for it? And at that point, I realized, oh gosh, it is, and it can be so easy to fall into this little trap or this little hole of comparison. Why was I thinking that way? And I realized it can be so easy to start comparing your life to somebody else's who is the same age as you. Like, people who might be the same age as you may have already bought a house or have a car or be like at really high positions in their career, and you may just be starting out in your own career. So sometimes I feel like, because of societal expectations or family expectations or the pressures that we put on ourselves, we feel like by a certain age, I need to have a bunch of different things accomplished, or I need to own this many things, or I need to have reached a particular level financially, or reached a particular level in my career. So when we look at our lives and we try and mirror it to what society wants us to be or society wants us to have attained, and we see that it doesn't match up, we start to feel like, oh, am I behind? Maybe I am behind. Why am I behind? And then that comparison thing sneaks in and it sneaks in and it starts to take over your mind. I say it this way because it does. It starts so sneakily, so sneakily. And then you start to question your own worth. You start questioning your own worth. You start questioning who you are and your gifts and your talents. So today I'm going to explore two different aspects of this comparison thing. Well, they're pretty much on the same spectrum, but we're looking at the different ways that we compare ourselves and some antidotes to combat this whole comparisonitis. Comparisonitis, we'll call it that, comparisonitis. So the first strand of comparisonitis is when you want to be like somebody else. You see their life, you see how amazing it looks, and you want it. You want everything that they have. You want to do what they do. You want to be them. You want to be them. You want to have what they have. And then you have the second strand that we're going to explore, which is when you elevate others to such a level that you feel like you are a lower level and they are such a high level, and you feel that you are inferior to them as a result. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with acknowledging that people are amazing, celebrating them, acknowledging that people do have great talents and gifts and can do such amazing things. There is nothing wrong in doing that. But to address the first point, the first strand, about wanting to be like somebody else or having their life. The thing about wanting to be them is that they have gone through things to bring them to where they are today. So would you want to go through the exact same things that they went through to get them to where they are today? So some time ago, I was all up in my feelings, like I said earlier in earlier in the video. I was all up in my feelings because at that time, I think I just finished university. I just graduated from undergrad. And the friends that I had at the time were like getting really good jobs and traveling and buying homes and just getting really great opportunities. And at that time, I was at home still trying to get a job. Okay. So that comparisonitis was strong. I was like, I want what they have. I want to do this. I want to be there. I want to do that. I want to do that. And I was all up in my feelings. And Holy Spirit checked me. He asked me a question, and that question really got me to think twice, it stopped me in that spiraling mode. And the question he asked me was, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to pay the price? That stopped me in my tracks, because when you put it that way, I'm like, do I really want to pay the price? Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to go through that? Because when you do think about it, do you want to pay that price? The price that those people paid to get to where they are? Do you want to go through the exact same things that they went through? Because what we usually see is the glitz and the glamour and the flashing lights, the red carpet events, the polished Instagram images. And we think, oh my gosh, their life is so fabulous. They've got it all together. But what we don't realize is that the glitz and the glamour often masks the work that they have put in. It often masks the sacrifices that they have made or they have had to make. And it also often masks the pain that they've gone through and they've endured and are possibly still enduring right now. So I pose the question to you. If you take all the people that you admire, the people that you're like, I want to be like this person. And there's nothing wrong with admiring their greatness, admiring their amazingness and their qualities. But when it gets to the stage where you start feeling like, I want this person, and you start feeling bad about your life and wanting what somebody else has instead, ask yourself, are you willing to pay that price? Are you willing to put in that work? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to go through that pain that they went through to get to where they are, if you say that you want to get to the same place that they are at? Ask yourself that question. Are you willing to pay the price? Because everything has a price. Everything has a price. Are you willing to pay that price? Now, the second part of what I want to explore is when comparisonitis makes you feel inferior to others. When you see people and you've put them on such a high pedestal and you feel like you are way less than they are, and you don't really think much about yourself as a result, because you feel like, oh, they've achieved so much, or they're amazing people, they're out of this world, they're just super talented. How could I ever reach that place? And making yourself small while glorifying somebody else. Like I said before, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging someone's greatness. The thing that is a disconnect is when you're glorifying someone else and putting your own self down and making yourself feel inferior as a result. And that's not what we want. So as I was saying, everything has a price, right? Now we're exploring the part about comparison making you feel inferior. Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 23. 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 23. In the New Century Version, it states, "You all were bought at a great price, so do not become slaves of people." You all were bought at a great price, so do not become slaves of people. We're continuing with this idea that everything has a price, right? And this verse is telling us, it states that we were all bought at a price, at a great price. Not that some people were bought at a price that was high and other people were bought at a bargain or a reduced rate or a discount. No. And it also states you all. So it doesn't say, oh, the people who have a certain kind of education, or the people who have got this and this number of degrees, or the people who live in this kind of neighborhood, or the people who make this kind of money, or the people who've reached a certain level in their career. No. Or the people who look a certain way. No. It says you all. You all. 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 You all were bought with a great price. Now, what is this price? Jesus Christ dying on the cross was the price that was paid for you and I to have life and for us to be reconnected back to God. Jesus gave his life. He gave his life. That was the price that was paid. Now, consider this. Why would someone give up their life for somebody else? Why would they do that? Well, maybe because they feel like the other person's life is worth more or is worth something. So Jesus giving up his life, Jesus, God's son, God telling Jesus, his son, to give up his life, and Jesus willingly giving up his life for us so that we all can be reconnected back to God and so that we all can have life in abundance, life to the full. And you know what it makes me think? It makes me think that God believes that we are all valuable. Because why else would he send his son to give up his life for all of us so that we can all be reconnected back to him? You don't just give up your life for someone you don't think is worth dying for. So this leads me to believe that we are worth dying for. You are worth dying for. You are valuable. That is why Jesus died. He gave up his life. And you know what? That is mind-boggling to me, why that would happen, because it doesn't make logical sense, but that is what God decided to do. And it is just the most amazing gift that you can receive. Realizing and accepting that you are valuable. That Jesus came to this earth and he died. He gave up his life so that you can be reconnected back to God. That is how valuable you are to God. That is how valuable you are to God. And since we are all of great value, that means no human being is of a lesser value to another human being. I'm going to say that again and let that sink in. No human being is of lesser value to another human being. And also, since we are all valuable, why would we need to compare ourselves with other people? You are valuable, I am valuable. Why would we need to compare ourselves? Yes, I know in the workplace, there are things where what is the value that you bring to this place, or what is the value you bring to this environment and all of that stuff. But in this context, when you understand who you are, your value, that you are inherently valuable, that would change a lot of things for you. When you realize that you are inherently valuable, you are worthy, it impacts the way that you see yourself and it impacts the way that you interact with other people. You compare objects, not people. You compare objects, not people. In episode 3, I talked about the wonders of the world and how they are one of a kind. And so let's take the Taj Mahal and the Great Wall of China. Can you compare them? Well, technically you could compare them, but they're different. The countries in which they were built are different. The climate in which they were built are different. And the purpose for which they were built are different. So there isn't really much common ground for comparing the two to see if there are any similarities, to see if there are any similarities between them. Take another example, the Northern Lights and Victoria Falls, which is a waterfall. Each of them, the Northern Lights, Victoria Falls, they are unique in what they are and what they do. They are unique in what they are and what they do. Same with you. You are unique in what you are, who you are, and in what you do. Okay? You are unique in who you are and what you do. In episode 3, again, I mentioned that you are great. And right now, me saying that, some of you are rolling your eyes and saying, really? Am I great? But you are. And the thing is that comparisonitis thing again has made you take that word great and project it out. And the way you perceive other people to be great is how you've brought the mirror back to yourself to see, do I reflect that greatness? And if your style of greatness and your reflection of greatness does not look like what other people have reflected as greatness, then you start to see a discrepancy and you start to think, no, you're not great. But I'm here to say that you are great. And how do I know that you are great? Let me answer this. Greatness is fulfilling the purpose for which you were created. Well, that's what I believe greatness is. Greatness for me is fulfilling the purpose for which I was created. So combating this battle with comparison comes from understanding who you are and what you're made for. So combating this battle with comparison comes from understanding who you are and what you are made for. What you are made for is what you are designed to do. Because everything and everyone has been designed and created for a purpose. And so we explored the question in episode 1, who am I? And then we started to have an understanding that, okay, God made me. I am made in the image of God. I am made in God's image. I am made in God's likeness. What God makes is good. Therefore, I am a good creation. Now, after having an understanding of who you are, it is now, okay, what have I been created for? What is the purpose for which I was made? Some people may say, oh, my purpose is to sing songs, or my purpose is to draw and create designs that really touch people's hearts and help them to see different perspectives. Or my purpose is to write different stories and help them to navigate life and go on different adventures. Or my purpose is to help people, or my purpose is to bring up children. Whatever your purpose is, live it fully, because nobody else can do what you do like you. But there are some of you who may be thinking, but I don't really know what my purpose is. What am I supposed to do? What did God create me to do? Now I invite you to do what Jesus did. And in Acts 10:38, the part I want to bring out is Jesus went about doing good, right? Jesus went about doing good. So if right now you're thinking, I don't really know what I was created for or what my purpose is, start with doing good. Start there. And what does doing good mean? What does you probably define what doing good is to you? Being kind to someone, giving your time to someone, encouraging someone. Maybe if you're on the train station and you see a mom with her pushchair, she's trying to go down the stairs with the pushchair and the lifts aren't working, you may help to carry the pushchair with her so that she can come down the stairs. An encouraging word, a smile. A smile can go a long way. Doing good. Jesus went about doing good. So if you're not really sure what your purpose is right now, start there. Start by doing good. All right? Do good. So we have talked about, am I willing to pay the price when you're feeling like you want to be like someone, you want their life, you want what they have? Ask yourself, am I willing to pay that price? And then leading on from that, we talked about how everything has a price and how Jesus gave up his life and paid the price so that we can all be reconciled back to God. And this shows how valuable we are. And I want you to realize this, that you are valuable. You are. And then we talked about understanding who you are. And from understanding who you are, understanding what you were created for. And those elements are the antidotes to comparisonitis, as we call it today. So understanding who you are and what you were created for will help to combat comparisonitis. So if you really believe that you are valuable, would you want to compare yourself to someone else? If you believe that every single person is valuable, would you feel the need to compare yourself to someone else? Food for thought. Now, as we come to the end of this episode, I invite you to get a journal, get some paper, get your laptop, get your notes, and write down responses to these questions because they will help inform future episodes that we're going to be doing. So, future episodes in terms of how you are progressing and you are finding your wonder and you are embracing and walking fully in your wonder. All right? First question. What do you like about yourself? What do you like about yourself? What attributes or skills in you are you proud of? Now, those things that you've listed or that you're going to list are your wonder. And you probably have noticed this whole purpose of this series, This is Wonder, is to help you to uncover, to find your wonder and to walk in it and to embrace it and to really fully step into your wonder because you are a wonder. Like I say at the end of every episode, you are a wonder. So these attributes, these skills, these things that you like about yourself, they are your wonder. And even if somebody else has the same attributes or can do the same things that you can do, you do it in your own special way. No one can be you. No one can do those things the way you can do them. And that is what makes you you. That is what makes you special. That is what makes you unique. You bring your own special flavor. And like I say in my book, we need your expression of color to add beauty to humanity. We need your expression of color to add beauty to humanity. And that color could be the way you smile, the way you dance, or the way you sing, or the way you draw, or the way you create artwork, or the way you write, or the way you express yourself in fashion, or the way you make poetry, or the way you make pottery. All of that is the color that you express, and we need it. We need all of those different expressions because it adds beauty to humanity. And which is why we're going back to what we said at the beginning of this video, this declaration. I will not compare my wonder to that of someone else because I know I am uniquely and marvelously made. I will not compare my wonder to that of someone else because I know that I am uniquely and marvelously made. I will not compare my wonder to that of someone else because I know that I am uniquely and marvelously made. Thank you for joining me in this episode of This is a Wonder. I hope it has encouraged you. Please like, subscribe to Wonder Chronicles, subscribe to this channel, share, comment, do all of that good stuff because it helps to get the message across to more people. And like I say, you are a wonder. Thanks again for joining me in this episode, and I will see you in the next video.